Welcome to Secret Story. I am Lacy Sims. I am 38 years old. I am a stay-at-home mom. I have a great husband James, 40 years old. We have two wonderful children, a son Jason, 19, a daughter Angie, 18, and our dog Buster. We are a normal family. James has a fantastic job and provides for us very well. We live in an upscale neighborhood outside Atlanta, in a big house with a big yard, a beautiful pool and hot tub, with beautiful gardens surrounding them. Our kids are talented students, active in school sports, and are both very social, with a large group of friends. They are both in a relationship with nice young people, that both James and I like. I am sure they are both active but are smart and use protection. My parents were extremely strict, so they kept a tight rein on me until I turned 18. Shortly after my birthday, all my pent-up energy exploded and all the time, and that is what I did. Whenever the opportunity popped up. I was active with most of the boys my same age, as well as some dads of my friends. Thankfully none of them ever knew what we did. I wouldn't say I was a nympho, but I surely loved all kinds. I loved giving and was told I was good. So as my life expanded, I met James. He was a little older. We dated and were really into each other from the start. My feelings for James were so different than the average guy I had dated. I fell in love with him. When we were first together, I was still seeing other guys, but it didn't take long before James and I became exclusive. Multiple times on many days that we fell madly in love with each other. Being young and a little careless, I missed taking my pills a few times. I got pregnant when I was 19. When we found out, there was never a second thought about us getting married. So, my dad didn't have to get the shotgun out. We had a beautiful quickie wedding, with only close friends and family in our church, for a simple service that we didn't have a long honeymoon. Our dads paid for 3 days and nights in the Disney World Polynesian resort. We had a wonderful time. When we returned, we decided to move away from our small hometown, so we didn't embarrass our families when the baby was born in 6 months. We rented a 2-bedroom apartment in Atlanta. To start our life together, James found a good sales job with a great company. Since I was pregnant, it was difficult for me to get a steady job, so to make extra money, I began to babysit for my neighbors. James did well, so after 6 months we were able to purchase a 3-bedroom townhouse out of foreclosure. It needed a lot of work, but it was ours. We had a home, a place to begin to build our family together. We worked hard on our home, so by the time the baby came, it was all beautifully decorated, especially the nursery. We had made it into a beautiful home, the perfect place to bring our son into, our family home. Being young, our drives were strong. Even during my pregnancy. 6 months later we welcomed Jason into our family. We were so happy. And Angela joined our family a year later. I had difficulty with her pregnancy, so we decided that she would be our last, and I had my tubes tied. That we were so happy. But as our little family started to grow, everyone knows, with the daily stress of the kids, the life suffers. But the stress of James' new promotion and my going to work in real estate, along with managing the household and loving our babies, our life really declined. As our kids grew older, they put a bigger crimp into our love life. The problem was, we were all so busy, but my desires and needs never went away. James was climbing the corporate ladder, so his job started to take him away for weekly business trips. Life just became busier and busier. We just didn't take enough time for us anymore. The lack of time together and the lack of intimacy started to cause a big problem for me. I really didn't know how to deal with it. With my strong focus on my work, my real estate business was doing well. I was now in the $1 million sales club each month. James had been promoted several times and was now a vice president. He always provided for us very well financially. But unfortunately, his travel became more frequent. Being gone 4 days a week, for 2 to 3 weeks every month. That really sucked. I was working from home as an independent real estate professional. It helped to keep me busy over the years and I made great commissions. I worked my way up the real estate value chain so that now I sell mostly larger homes in the high-end market. I make a great living working only 2 to 3 days a week. I have always found us great houses to move into. We would move every few years, always upgrading as James and my income allowed that we are finally living in my dream home. A beautiful stone 5-bedroom house with a beautiful yard, big pool, and hot tub, all beautifully landscaped. It is in a popular high-end gated community. This is the home we both worked hard to buy. I was lucky and listed this home, so it never really went on the open market. The owners were in financial trouble, so we bought it right away, under market value. We saved even more by not having to pay any commission. We had some inside upgrades done and some new landscaping. The yard work was extensive, so we had a service doing the work that I was so proud of the house and yard, it all looked so beautiful. We even won Yard of the Month a few months ago. We had an open house the weekend it was announced, and we met several new people that had just moved into the neighborhood, with James and my business interests pulling at us. And the kids pulling at me most of the time. I realized that our lives were heading in different directions. It was hard on us. We have always been so close and been together, but now with James's travel increasing and my reputation rising in the real estate business, we were always working and not spending any time together. When James is home, we are so busy with family things and the kids just don't take any time for each other. Something had to change. James and I finally sent the kids off for the weekend and reconnected both and emotionally. We off and on for almost 2 days, something we had not done in years. It was incredible. We rediscovered what we were missing and realized what we were sacrificing working so hard. Our kids were old enough now that they knew the drill, so when we left them and closed the door to our room, they knew what we were doing and never bothered us until we surfaced again with big smiles on our faces. Even though we work hard, James's absence remains a huge problem that we do not have a solution for yet, but James is working on it. James's continued absence was hard on me. I sometimes felt neglected. It seemed my kids were always in the way, demanding something from me. I know that is not right or fair, but the feeling was still there. I finally came to grips with these feelings and made sure I never showed them to the kids or James. This was my problem. I needed to make it right. I started to spend more time with them during the week. I even got them both to come to the gym with me on one of the 3 nights I went each week. We started to bond as adults now, so I saw my role begin to change. I became a little more of their friend, not just a parent. This was good for all of us. Angie even started to talk to me woman to woman about her dating. This was a breakthrough for us. Suddenly our family dynamic changed and now we were 4 adults living together. James and I accepted them as adults, and we talked to them like adults and shared some of our issues with them. It helped them understand some of our behavior. All these new discussions made us a much stronger family. As part of my dedication to keeping the spark in our lives, I committed to keeping myself in great shape. I continued to go to the gym 3 days a week and added in yoga twice a week. I am always around beautiful young men and women every day, and I also swim every day with my kids. They are big swimmers, and we have a big backyard pool. I enjoy swimming with them. They are so good looking, and they make me feel so young. Swimming also helps keep my body toned up. I walk everywhere to help keep my legs sleek. I love James with all my heart. His being away so much makes it doubly hard on me, so over the years, I have had to be creative. Most of my women friends have similar issues. So we all find different solutions. Some of them cheat a little. Some of them eat a little. A few years ago, I had a short affair with a younger trainer from my gym. But he moved away, so that ended. There have been times when I have made so much noise. Abby came to me and smiled. "I heard you, Mom, you really got off this morning." And she kissed me on the cheek. I was so embarrassed. Why kids are both adults now, so they know what's going on. I him last Saturday morning. Luckily, he didn't know I saw him. I was impressed with his I couldn't take my eyes off him that I know is bad, so I had to run to my room and take care of my recently. When I did Angie's wash, I found a pair of her. Her scent is so sweet, it drove me crazy. I know that all of this is not very motherly, but I can't resist. But I have been even more naughty. Am I an evil mom? I don't really think so. We do reserve Saturday nights, when the kids are out on dates or whatever. These loving sessions recharge us both for the week ahead. On Monday morning we take care of each other one more time as a send-off for the week, and a tease for what is waiting at home that we also take one weekend a month and go away for a weekend, to catch up with each other. We get reacquainted with our bodies and souls. We always go to the beach. We step out of the car. Those memories are still strong for me. James and I take care of each other during these weekends, and life goes on. There have been times when I have made so much noise. Abby came to me and smiled. I heard you, Mom, you really got off this morning. And she kissed me on the cheek. I was so embarrassed. Why kids are both adults now, so they know what's going on. I him last Saturday morning. Luckily, he didn't know I saw him. I was impressed with his. I couldn't take my eyes off him that I know is bad, so I had to run to my room and take care of my recently. When I did Angie's wash, I found a pair of her. Her scent is so sweet, it drove me crazy. I know that all of this is not very motherly, but I can't resist. But I have been even more naughty. Am I an evil mom? I don't really think so. We do reserve Saturday nights, when the kids are out on dates or whatever. These loving sessions recharge us both for the week ahead. On Monday morning we take care of each other one more time as a send-off for the week, and a tease for what is waiting at home that we also take one weekend a month and go away for a weekend, to catch up with each other. We get reacquainted with our bodies and souls. We always go to the beach. We step out of the car. Those memories are still strong for me. James and I take care of each other during these weekends, and life goes on. I went back to my book, reading about Christian's Red Room and his activities there. Anastasia was one incredibly lucky girl. I took a swallow of my cold iced tea, looking out over the yard. I noticed the young yard guy across the street had come back out front and was finishing his work, blowing off the walkway and driveway. This guy was working his magic on me from 50 yards away. I wondered what he could do to me in person. As he walked toward his truck, I put my book down and walked down off the porch into the yard, waving to him and yelled, "Hey mister." He turned, looking toward me, as I continued into the street. He walked toward me looking like a Greek god, his skin shining from his sweat. Holding out my hand, I said, "Hi, I am Lacy Sims." Taking my hand in his large hand, he offered, "I am Tim Rogers, nice to meet you. What can I do for you?" I thought, wow, if I could tell him what I really wanted, I would scare him away. "I see you do yard work, and I need someone that can take over my yard." The man I had doing the work was an older man and he has retired. "Yes ma'am, I have picked up some other clients for Mr. Johns." "What do you need done?" As I scanned his well-built body, I realized he was not only gorgeous, he was also polite. He was a real specimen. He had strong arms and legs. I looked into his eyes and caught him checking me out as well. That's encouraging, I thought. "Tim, I need a full-time yard guy that can do all my yard work and clean my pool every week. Can you do that for me?" I asked, flirting a little with him. "Why don't we walk around and let me see everything you need done, and I'll give you a quote. How does that sound?" he asked as he pulled his t-shirt up to wipe the sweat off his face. Wow, I almost fainted when he exposed his hard six-pack again. "You are really in great shape. Nice six-pack you have there," I said, almost reaching out and touching him. "Sorry," he said, pulling his shirt back down. I smiled. I always appreciate a beautiful body. Frankly, I am sorry you put a shirt on. Not wanting to be too forward, "Tim, you are one good-looking man." "Thank you, Ms. Sims, I do okay. Let's look around at what you need to be done." "I call you Tim, you call me Lacy," I told him, as we walked around the yard and went over everything, the grass, shrubs, and pool. We made it back around to the front porch to discuss the work. "Tim, would you like water, a beer or lemonade?" "I'm done for the day, so a beer would be nice." I went to the kitchen and got a couple of beers and returned to the porch. As I came out of the house, I saw that Tim was reading my book. "You like my book?" He fumbled and dropped the book like he was caught doing something wrong. "Ah no, but I have heard of it. I'm not a big reader, but the little bit I just read is hot." "Is the whole book like that?" "Oh yeah, it is, and you didn't even read the really good stuff." "Want me to read some to you?" "No, that's okay, maybe some other time." I could see I was making him nervous that we discussed the work and came up with an acceptable price and schedule. We shook on it. His hand felt so good wrapped around mine. I wondered if he was telling me something or was my imagination going wild. "I have to go to another job now, so I'll be here next Thursday to get started." "That's great, I look forward to seeing you." "My kids and husband will be away, so I'll be by myself." "Okay." He smiled and headed off to his truck. As soon as he was gone, I wonder what it would be like if the real thing. I rolled over, curled up in a little ball, pulling the duvet over me, drifting off to sleep. Sometime later I woke up to the smell of something cooking. I saw the door to my bedroom was open. I wondered if my kids had opened my door and saw me. A shiver spread through me. I got up, washed my face, put on a robe, and walked downstairs to the kitchen. Both of my beautiful kids, Jason and Angie, were there cooking dinner together. "Well, that's a first," I thought as I came through the door. In unison, "Well, Sleeping Beauty awakes." They laughed. "Well, hello to you too." I yawned and stretched my arms above my head. My robe opened and I grabbed it, wrapping it around me. "Sorry." They looked at each other, smiled, and came to me for a three-way hug. These were my pride and joy. I loved them so much and we get along so well that I set the table and poured the drinks. We sat down to eat, discussing their trip to Florida next week and that Dad was expected to be late tonight, so they would see him tomorrow before they left on Saturday morning. That we planned to go out for pizza and a movie with Dad tomorrow night. I also told them about Tim, so if he came while they were here and I was away, they wouldn't freak out. We cleaned up and went into the TV room to watch a movie. As the movie ended, I kissed each of them and headed off to bed. I closed the door, dropped my robe on the chaise lounge, pulled back the sheets, climbed in, laid back, thinking of Tim's again. James came home sometime later that night. Crawling into bed, snuggling up behind me and spooning against my back. "I'm home, baby," he whispered. A little chill rolled down my spine. "Oh James, welcome home." "Oh Lacy, I am so tired, can't we wait till morning?" "Please James, I really need you now. God, I love this guy. He is so much fun, he's just absent way too much." I cranked up my engine. A flash went through my mind. We were making a lot of noise and I am sure the kids could hear. I hope they were enjoying it as much as we are. We woke up early, in the same position. James was still asleep but quietly whispered, "Baby, I like this alarm clock." I smiled, "Good morning to you. I wanted to start the day off right. And I needed a protein breakfast." "I hope you enjoyed it." I certainly did. We calmed ourselves for a few minutes, then got up, showered. We changed the sheets and headed to the kitchen to make breakfast. The kids would be up soon, and we had a busy day getting them ready for their trip tomorrow. Once the day calmed down, we went out for pizza and a movie. We had a great family time together. We are so close, and this was something we all loved to do. The kids even razzied us about all the noise we made last night, embarrassing me, but making James crow. It was an incredible night, but unfortunately it would have to last me a full week. Saturday morning came, and our kids left early. I kissed them as they climbed into the SUV, and off they went. Unfortunately, James also had to leave early for his conference, leaving me all by myself for the first time in a long time. Wow, no kids and no husband for a whole week. I did all my Saturday chores and finished around lunchtime. I was feeling hot. My cell phone rang. Hello. Oh, hi Valerie, how are you? Val answered, I'm good. I heard from Grace your kids were away this week, and James is at a conference. Poor girl, all alone for a full week. Anyway, I'm inviting you to girls' night out on Tuesday. We are going to Alton's, they are having an Italian Tuscan wine and food tasting. Then we are going dancing at the circus. That hot new club on Water Street. There are 7 girls going, you will make 8. We should have a lot of fun. Gosh, that sounds great. I'd love to go. Super, I can't wait. What are you up to now? I am lying by the pool sunning, drinking a strawberry margarita. Now, that sounds fun, what are you doing, Val? Do you want to come over and join me? I am doing nothing. Well then, you can sun and drink with me. Sounds great. I'll be there in about an hour. Can I bring anything? No, just bring yourself, and we can have a fun afternoon and evening. You should plan to stay for dinner as well. Great, see you soon, and we hung up, but now that Val was coming over, my opportunity might be gone. We will have to see. Valerie is one of my single friends. This afternoon will allow us to get to know each other better. I thought about dinner and decided to have steaks, salad, asparagus, and wine for dinner. I bought nice thick ribeyes and a nice Cabernet. I stopped at the farmer's market for fresh asparagus, lettuce, and tomatoes, then headed home. I marinated the steaks, mixed the salad, and put the food in the fridge. I uncorked the Cabernet wine to let it breathe. I also mixed up a fresh batch of margaritas with fresh strawberries bought that I brought out extra towels and put them in my pool bag by the spa. Things were all set. Val and I were going to have a fun 2-person party. I settled back on the lounger and began to read. I started to sweat in no time. I jumped into the pool to cool off. I swam some laps and then walked up the steps out of the pool. Just then, Val arrived. Hey girl, Val yelled as she came. Tuesday morning came, and the sun slipped into the room. I rolled over, spreading out on the satin sheets as Val's scent filled my head, making me dream about what tonight might bring. That I slipped out of bed. I had many things to do to prepare for tonight. I washed up and dressed for the gym, made coffee and a bagel, and ate. As I scrolled through my social media that I had a text from James. Hey baby, I am so bored here. I hope the week gets better, or I may leave early. We may get a couple of days alone together before the kids get home. I'll let you know. Love and miss you so much. I answered James's text, hey babe, I miss you. Sorry you are bored, it will get better, if not, I will welcome you home appropriately, I promise. 2 days alone in bed with you would be a wonderful catch-up time. I am going out with the girls tonight, for drinks, dinner, and a little dancing. I love you so much. Talk tomorrow. I pressed send and headed off to the gym. I stayed busy, which kept me from overthinking about Valerie. I fought the feeling the rest of the day and denied myself any pleasure. I was saving it for the after-party at Val's. I finished my workout with no Pilates today. I took a soaking bath. I dried and did my hair. Tying up a ponytail in a silk bow that I finished dressing, went to the kitchen, and poured a patron shot. I skipped the salt and lime and just hit it. I quickly did another. I was ready now for whatever happened tonight. That I walked the block down to Val's house. When I arrived at the door, I stood there, almost afraid to enter. My heart was beating wildly, just like the first time a boy asked me to dance in middle school. As I rang the bell, Lorna, one of the other girls, arrived. That broke my tension. Hi, Lorna, ready for tonight? Hey Lacy, damn right. A night out, no husband or kids, drinking and dancing. Hell yes, I am ready. You? Oh yes, it will be a lot of fun. The door opened. Val was standing there. We ate a few snacks. Gossiped, and drank wine until the jitney arrived a half-hour later. I to Valerie for the next hour. It was the most beautiful. I fell asleep and slept soundly until 8:30 Wednesday morning. When my phone buzzed and woke me. It was a text from Tim. Tim's text: Lacy, I will not be able to come to your house today. I have an emergency, so I will be there first thing tomorrow. I hope that is okay. Text me back: I had hoped to see him today. I had plans for him. Naughty plans. My text: well, that is disappointing. I had a nice lunch and afternoon swim lined up for today, but I guess I'll have to wait another day. I will not take any excuses. My lawn needs tending too, and you are just the right man to do it. I'll be waiting. Tim's text: I am all yours tomorrow. No more appointments, so I will be there early and stay as long as you need me. I can take care of all your needs. My text: text me when you are on your way. I washed up and made an English muffin. As I ate, my phone rang. It was James. He had a break, so he called. We had a good talk. I told him I had invited Valerie over, and we had an excellent day sunning a good dinner, and I learned a lot about her. I told him we got drunk, and Val had slept over. I also told him about our girls' night out and Lorna and Missy, but nothing about me staying over last night. He thought it was funny and said, "You gals always take care of each other. Don't you?" He was right. But if he only knew just how well Val and I took care of each other, he wouldn't be laughing. I was deep in thought when James brought me back. Good news, baby, I'll be home on Thursday night. We can go to the beach for the weekend and recharge. Would you like that? He teased, knowing I would. Oh yes, James, you don't know how much I want that. Let's go to that place on Polly's Island with the secluded beach. Thursday morning started, as my phone buzzed, waking me a little after 7 a.m. I picked up my phone, and it was Tim Robbins, the yard guy, I thought about last night. It was a night I would love to repeat many times. I slipped out of bed into the bathroom and closed the door. I answered my phone. Good morning, Mrs. Sims, I mean Lacy. Hi Tim, how are you? I'm good. I will be over in about an hour to get started. Does that work for you? That would be great, Tim. I am not there now, so just get started, and I will be home a little later. Okay, Lacy, I'll get started, and we can talk when you get home. I'm looking forward to seeing you. My body shivered. Me too. Remember, when you are finished, you can swim. There was a pause. Are you sure? Of course, I always swim in the afternoon so we can swim together. Okay then, that sounds great. I'll get started. Yes, I'll see you when I get home then. Bye. I hung up. I went back into the bedroom and quietly dressed. I texted Valerie to explain why I left, then caught an Uber home. I quickly changed into my yoga tights and a pair of silk shorts with a sports bra. I made up my face, filled my water bottle, and was outside before Tim arrived. I stepped out of the car. Tim stopped mowing, walking over to me. He looked at me. Hi, Lacy, how are you today? I am good, I just had a nice yoga workout. You know, got to keep this body trim and ready for action. Well, that yoga class is doing the job for sure. Well, 3 days in the gym each week, plus 2 more days of running, I said, smiling with my hands resting on my hips. Wow, that's a hell of a regiment. What's the motivation to work that hard? I could never make myself do that. I looked at him as I thought for a minute. Well, it is simple, Tim, a woman really has only one motivation. A man or men. In my case, I am an open field and play on both sides. My main player is away for the week, so I may need a substitute. But that depends if the game is on. Tim's smile widened. Well, I better get back to work to finish up and get that swim in, that is, if the offer is still open. If it is, I would like to swim with you. Yes, I will be sunning and swimming this afternoon, so once you finish, you can swim if you like. I think the pool could get dirty this afternoon and need cleaning later. I walked out on the deck to get Tim. Tim was shirtless and sweaty. Tim, you look all hot and sweaty. I made a nice Cobb salad. So take a break and eat with me. Tim turned to me, and his eyes bugged out. And he had no way to hide it that I walked right up to him and took his hand. Come with me, you can wash up, and we can have a nice lunch. We can get to know each other better. I pulled him along behind me. Tim was stunned but followed me. I pointed to the powder room across the kitchen. You can wash up there, then come out, and we can eat. What would you like to drink? A cold beer would probably be good. Sure, yeah, beer would be fine. I got 2 beers from the fridge and set the rest of the food out. I sat waiting for Tim to come out. I was betting he was commando today and planned to find out later that I stood, giving Tim a good frontal view. I smiled, handing him a beer bottle. Have a seat. Tim had not said a word but finally said, you didn't have to do this, Lacy. I normally bring a sandwich with me. Well, Tim, I am an excellent employer, and I want my employees to be totally satisfied when they work for me. I know from experience that they always go the extra mile to do an excellent job when I treat them right. So, eat up, you have more work to do, and remember, we have that swim later. We ate and chatted. I learned Tim was 28 years old. He has a steady girlfriend, but they don't live together. They had dated for a couple of years, but neither was eager to get married. She had just graduated from law school and worked at a large law firm. She worked a crazy number of hours and was devoted to her career for now. On the other hand, Tim wanted nothing to do with the corporate world. He liked his freedom. Tim had earned degrees in agronomy and botany. He planned to build a successful landscaping business. He already had 2 other crews out on other jobs, plus himself. My other crews work with most of our regular clients, and I only work with my special customers to give them the proper attention they deserve. As he looked at me, a sly smile showed on his face. So, Tim, am I one of your special customers? Teasing him, batting my eyes. Lacy, you are a very special customer. Well, that is nice, but Tim, why am I a very special customer? Well, look at you, you dressed specially for me, made me lunch, and invited me to swim when I finished work. I have never had a customer be so nice and treat me so special. So, Tim, does a very special customer receive very special treatment? He smiled. Well, Lacy, what other services do you need that I might help with? It was my chance, not that I needed an invitation. We knew exactly where this was leading. Well, Tim, since you asked, I had a tough time putting on sunscreen today and could use some help, so I don't burn this afternoon. We wouldn't want that, would we? A little later, you could help put clean sheets on my king bed. They are so hard to handle by myself. Tim stopped eating and stood up. He smiled. I have a few things I need to finish in the yard, so why don't you clean up and read a little more of your book here? If you sit in the shade, you won't burn, and I can help you with those 2 things and maybe more when I am done. Tim went back to work. As he suggested, I went out on the front porch where I had seen him the first time. I watched Tim from behind my sunglasses as he worked around the yard. I read 3 chapters and was thirsty, so I went inside to get a drink. My phone was buzzing on the counter. I looked at it and saw Valerie was calling. I picked it up and answered. Hey Val, how are you? Hey yourself. I am doing okay, but I miss you. Me too, what are you doing? I just got home and am trying to recover from last night. It was incredible. That sounds great Val, I have strong feelings for you, but it's complicated. I am so glad Carla has been able to help you and that you are feeling good. Well, I am off now until I report to my job in Denver, so I am returning to Carla's for a few more days. I will probably be back on Sunday. Then I will be done here and ready to move forward. It's exciting to have a clear path forward finally, and I think you will be happy for me. Oh, Valerie, that makes me so happy. I am glad you have finally found your way. I can't wait to see you. When you get back, we need to go out on a date. Yes, Lacy, I would like that. I miss you so much right now. I can't wait to see you again. Okay, let me know when you get home and when we can go out. James and the kids will be home, but I will work it out. Okay, baby, I miss you, we will talk soon. Me too, Val, I miss you. I heard a knock on the door and looked out. Tim was standing there in his shorts, no shirt. Went to the door. Are you done? No, I will be soon. I need the restroom, though. I moved out of the way, letting him in. He looked at me as he walked by. I gathered my drink pitcher, glass, and book and moved back by the pool. I settled on a lounger inside the cabana and waited for Tim to finish. My eyes were closed. And I had dropped the book. I was so into the moment I had not heard Tim approach. As I started to come down, my eyes opened. Oh God, Tim. He was standing at the foot of the lounger, watching me. Oh Lacy, please continue, that was incredible to see. I would not want to stop that from happening again. I might even be able to help you if you would like. Tim walked toward me and stopped 2 feet away. We knowing what we would do for the next few hours. I suddenly needed to pee and quickly ran into the house to the powder room. As I passed the counter, I saw my phone was buzzing. I grabbed it and went to pee. As I sat relieving myself, I read the message. James texts, "Babe, my meeting will be later than I thought. So I changed my flight to get in at 10 a.m. I am so sorry. I really wanted to be with you tonight. I miss you so much. Love you. I'll call you later, and we can plan the weekend. Did you get the reservation?" Wow, I had instant mixed emotions. My text, "Oh, James, I hoped you would be home tonight. I will miss another night without your warm." After the texts with James, I knew he would not be home until tomorrow. I took a deep breath and walked back out to the cabana. Tim was sitting there reading my book. He looked up. Oh no, I could never do the things they are doing. So that is the main item on the dessert menu for today. So, let's get to it, then we will swim before you leave. That is, if you leave. Oh, my God, I was in heaven. Where had this woman been all my life? Lacy was incredible. Then we lay together until our breathing slowed. After a while, Lacy rose, grabbed my hand. "Time for that swim I promised you." We ran to the pool and jumped in together. Lacy pushed away from me and swam off to the other end of the pool. She splashed at me, "If you catch me." Her head slipped below the surface, and I went under, looking for her. After a few minutes, Lacy brushed me under the water. I reached down and grabbed her. Lacy looked me. We must have slept for an hour or so. I lay there and thought of James. It was 5:50 p.m., and James should have been on a plane home. But business got in the way again. Over about 3 hours, I was and frankly, Lacy had worn me out, and I needed to sleep. She had told me James was not coming home until the morning, but I knew I couldn't. He had unknowingly loaned Lacy to me, so I needed to respect him and leave her intact for his homecoming and their trip to the beach tomorrow. I looked at the clock, 3:28 a.m., it read. Lacy fell asleep, a fully satisfied woman. I slipped off the bed and looked. She looked so beautiful sleeping that I gathered my clothes, went out to the pool, and ensured all my things were gone. I closed up the house and slipped out the back, to my truck that I had moved around the corner. My glorious time with Lacy was over. I knew there would be more times together and couldn't wait till the next time I stirred and felt alone. I rolled over seeing Tim was gone. He must have left in the night that I looked at the clock. 8:38 a.m. I needed to get moving. I had to clean everything, change the sheets, wash these, and pack for our trip. I scrambled out of bed and pulled off the sheets. I made the bed with the new black silk sheets I had bought as a treat for James. I put the nasty sheets, along with the cabana bed sheet, in the wash. I loaded the dishwasher and started it. I checked the pool deck for anything incriminating. I found nothing. I cleaned the kitchen counter and made some fruit for breakfast. I sat down and ate. My phone buzzed. It was a message from James. James's text: "My flight is a half-hour late, sorry." I sighed. That was okay, I had more time than my text: "Okay babe. I will be waiting." James's text: "Oh God, I can't wait, don't start without me." I finished eating and a text came from Tim. Tim's text: "Mrs. Sims. I hope you were satisfied with the work I did for you yesterday. I was very satisfied with the yard, and though it was all wonderful, the flowers were in full bloom and beautiful." My text: "Tim, I was very satisfied with your work. You are exceptional and pay a lot of attention to detail. I like that. I expect to see you every 2 weeks or more often if I need additional work done. Is that acceptable to you, Tim?" Tim's repose was a thumbs up and 2 eggplants. I finished my food and put the sheets in the dryer. I went to shower to prepare for James's homecoming. I cleaned inside and out. I put on light makeup and his favorite lipstick.